It's Sunday, and it's time for a Shed Talk. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Jam Shed and this episode of Shed Talk, and I'm so glad you're joining me. And if you're going, man, it has been a meaningful period of time since we've had one of these, you're absolutely right. And more so because I've been working on other kinds of format, lots of gear coming into the shed, lots of videos. They take a little bit of time, but you know what? It's important that we have these touch points, and here's the format going forward of how we're going to leverage Shed Talks. I think it's just going to be things that are on my mind around gear that's here in the shed and circling back and just what I think about it and where they rank for me. And again, all about curiosity and exploration. And so as you saw on the thumb, the pedal we're going to talk about today is this guy right here. And that is my DOD Grunge pedal. Now, to say the least, this pedal, well, maybe it's not the least, maybe it's the most, but what I would say about this pedal is it has found a fond place in the gear repertoire where it sits on the bench consistently. And I thought that merited some conversation because I'm curious from your all perspectives. Like when you go down to wherever it is that you're playing your gear, whatever your rig happens to be, like what's on it? And I've noticed that changes from time to time, at least for me. Some of you are creatures of habit and no way, you're not changing anything. You found the thing, it's dialed, you leave it alone. Of course, I'm not that lucky. I struggle with tone acquisition syndrome all the time. So, but here's the thing, you have the regulars. For me, it's the TS9. And that is my go-to overdrive pedal. Absolutely love it. But something that has kind of crept in a little bit on the board more often than not is this DOD Grunge pedal. And yes, this is the 90s version, and we've shot the Digitech version out in this one, and there's not much of a difference. I really couldn't tell you that there'd be an audible difference, and certainly not in the context of a mix. But what I want to talk about, and the format that we're going to follow, again, on this segment, Shed Talks, is just talking about these things, and I'll do a little playthrough, and we'll have some fun with it. But the reason why this seems to be on the board more often than not is because it does actually have lots of tonal control, more than I would have ever thought. Like in the 90s when this thing dropped, this was not the pedal we were going for. We were going to the multi-effects and the Metal Zone and all of the cheap pedals that we could find, the Fab Tone by Dan Electro. I mean, it was not the grunge pedal. The grunge pedal didn't define the grunge sound. It was a response to a grunge music or the grunge scene at the time. And so it was almost a little tongue-in-cheek, like, most of us were like, yeah, that's supposedly going to get you Kurt's sound. But again, it's when you're younger, you're having a hard time parting ways with your money, and you had what you had and you made it work. Honestly, that's a good mantra to live by. You have what you have, make it work. Anyway, that all to be said, for me, I would have never really looked at this pedal as a pedal that in 20 or 30 years, it'd be something that would still be sitting on my pedal board or in my arsenal of gear that I'm going to leverage and use all the time. And so now that it has become something that sits on the bench quite often, and it's something that I actually enjoy playing, I just thought it's fascinating. And I'm curious, what is that for you? Like, what gear gets you excited that maybe you revisit all the time? What's currently on your board that has gotten you excited about continuing to tone chase and all the rest of it? Whether it's gear acquisition syndrome or just tone chasing in general, I'd love to hear from you. So I have done a lot of talking around this and why it's exciting, and I would really love to hear from you all about those pieces of gear that mean something to you. This one resonates with me because it's something from, I guess you could say, like my childhood, and I would have never thought about it. It's kind of like, you know, you go in the basement and your parents' house and you're looking through all your old stuff and you find that one thing and you're like, this is still cool today. And for me, I didn't own this pedal as a young person, but I own it today, and I can sit back and say, it is cool, and I really enjoy the tones that I'm able to get out of it. Now, I'm going to show you the settings I have, and here's where I think this pedal shines quite nicely is, as you can see here, it's not over the top dialed, especially with the gain structure. Like, I don't have a lot of gain in here, and I think that's where this pedal shines. It gives just the right amount of sizzle, and when you hear it in a mix, it can get really gnarly and nasty sounding, and sometimes that's exactly what you need as a blending track. So for me, it's become just a different relationship with this pedal that I've had in the past. And why not? Let's do some noodling around with it and see what kind of tones we can get out of it. And then we'll land the plane. Here we go. have it. Well, that lands the plane for the Shed Talk. I'm going to leave you with this final thought, and it's really a simple one. And I'm just curious, what gear has got you motivated today? And if this was it, and this time was me to give you a bump and some motivation to go downstairs or wherever your gear is and explore, then go do it and go forth and have an amazing week. And I'll see you all on the next one. Take care, everybody.